In this beginning of January, snowflakes fell a few times but didn't stay very long. In the kingdom, once the Christmas decor are all put away, I like to reorganize things a bit to add a new energy to the decor, to the space, to the home, and do a few changes, not buying anything, but just reorganizing things a bit. But in the meantime, the canopy needs to be properly dusted. I didn't unhang him from the wall for probably at least 2 years, maybe more, so it's time to have a nice dusting. And he belongs to the Fairy Tale Home Decor Workshop. It's part of one of the 4 decors of this workshop, and you can find it on my workshop's website, and the link is just under this video. I don't have a small hoover, so I use my basic blowing dryer, which works really well. I just have to clean afterwards, of course, the floor once I've dusted everything really well. I like to have brushes too to try to clean a bit in the paper decor itself. Everything is in paper, of course, so I don't want to have hard material to damage it, but the brush is usually very helpful. I will redo entirely the bedroom later this year, maybe at the end of the winter or during the spring. I want to change the wallpaper, which I really don't like anymore. It doesn't go with the canopy, and I want to do a decor which enhances the bed canopy, which I really like, and I think right now is not really flattering with the floral red paper around it, and I need to do some curtains for it, and I probably will redo the window curtains as well. In the meantime, I'm going to reuse some fabric I already had, some pieces of fabric I had in the cupboards, and reorganizing something as a sort of draft version of what I want to do later, because I want to have much longer curtains to have a really dramatic effect. The roses, the paper roses, come from one of the Halloween workshops, which was all about flowers, but I think they work well too here. And I added a piece of lace I had in the middle, and I quite like the result, even if it's just a draft version. It's already much more welcoming and better, and it's a bit more a real princess bedroom. And yes, I definitely plan to have some proper matching bed curtains this year for the canopy. As it's January, it's the Galette des Rois month, so I eat a new galette, a new recipe every weekend. And this time I wanted to try something a little different. You will find the recipe under the video if you're interested to try it. This one has a bit of orange in la frangipane, the thing we do with almond powder, and also a spoon of rum. And we will see the changes it does in the recipe. I don't have a galette dish, I will need to try to find one, so I use my tart dish, but it's not totally the same. You're not supposed to use a tart dish for a galette. Now let's taste it and see what this Rhum and this orange does to the recipe. I've added the recipe of this galette under the video, so you can do it if you want to with the link to the French source where I found it and with the English translation. It was a good one, but I have to say the orange was a little too strong for me. I'm not sure I'm so fond of orange in viennoiserie, pâtisserie and all that. It was interesting at the beginning, it gives a little twist. I might redo it, but with just a tiny bit to surprise the taste buds, but not that so that orange covers entirely the almond frangipane, so the frangipane, which is the little cream you create with butter inside the Galette des Rois, which is really classic, really specific, and you're not supposed to have too many tastes inside, otherwise it just hides the flavor. But it was interesting, it gives something a little different. In the evening, I still catch up with a lot of my correspondence, as I've showed you in the previous video, but I have quite a lot. And by the way, the PENPAL swap I mentioned in the previous video is still open, so for those who still want to try to find a PENPAL and a correspondent this year, you can go on my blog, the link is under this video, and you can read and see all the persons, gentlemen, ladies who have put their introduction and their email and who are willing to find some correspondent to exchange letters this year. And it's totally free, there is nothing to lose. In the entrance hall, I decided to use another bed canopy, the first one I made actually for the bedroom, when I arrived in this apartment many years ago, and he was no longer used. He was in my walk-in closet, taking a lot of space, catching a lot of dust, and I really needed to do something with it, whether to put it to the recycling center or to keep it. And I decided to keep it because now he works really well with the red wallpaper of the entrance hall, and I thought it would be perfect because I wanted something more dramatic in the entrance hall. And it creates a really nice dramatic effect as I like them. So in January, I decided it will be a no buy books month, at least maybe February too, because I bought so many books this autumn and I wanted to finish many I had bought before. I want to buy the entire work of Balzac, the 24 volumes, 94 novels he wrote, which are organized in 24, 25 volumes. So before that, I want to finish others, but I finished yesterday night his life by Rois, who was a writer from l'Académie Française, and it was such a nice biography. I enjoyed it so much. But what I find fascinating with his life, it's something a bit different than all the classic writers who are inspired by their life to build their characters and by themselves to build their characters. Here, he did that a lot in all of his novels, but what is fascinating is that his life became his novel. So the first, the novel I mentioned in autumn, La peau de chagrin, which was his very first success in literature. He really made a big start in literature with this one, though he wrote many other books before this one. But I didn't know that his Anne turned out to be exactly the same than Raphael Valentin's Anne in the book. As he fulfilled his wishes and his dreams in the novel, his life expectancy shortened. So this is the principle of the story. And in Balzac's life, it was exactly the same. Once eventually he had married the woman he loved after waiting for 17 years, he had the house he wanted, surrounded by all the objects, the art, the furniture, the brocante, whatever he could gather around him, because he was passionate about brocante and decor, and we will have a video about that because it's just so cool. But once everything was aligned, he was recognized as a writer. He had a bit more success definitely than at the beginning. He married the woman he loved. He died a few months after, and this is just unbelievable. And a lot of people say that he died because of his work and all that. In a way, yes, he worked so much, but he had a heart issue, so probably he would have had his heart issue even without all the work he did. But yes, it's a fascinating character, and I was so sad reading his end yesterday. I was reading that in my bed before going to sleep, and I had to cry in my bed because it was just so sad when Victor Hugo comes to see him. He doesn't respond to anything. He's just really a few hours away from death, and that was really poignant and very moving. And I was very moved by his life and his biography, and there's so many interesting things I'm going to share with you in the upcoming videos, in the upcoming month, about art creation, creating, artists, writers, and all the questions which are really always there for an artist, whether he's in the 19th and 20th or the 21st century. So I'm fascinated by all his work. I'm continue to read and finish the novels, the first novels I bought from him. I read him when I was a teenager. I didn't read anything, only one as an adult, and I'm rereading actually the one I read about 6 years ago, and I enjoy it so much more now. I find it interesting how some authors, books, writers, they come to us at a certain moment. Sometimes we are not ready to enjoy their work, and sometimes it's good to give them a chance a little later, but now I'm absolutely 100% ready. So yes, this biography was fascinating. There are many biographies available about Balzac, but this one was great because it was written by a writer who had access to all his archives too. And he was a collector of his documents and papers. I always like when people do that too. So I went back at the end of December to my sewing project, my clothes. I'm sewing little by little. I would like to have this winter finish 2 winter dresses and possibly 2 winter skirts. Right now I'm finishing a winter tartan dress, and hopefully it will be completely finished in a few days because I can't wait to wear it. And I have to admit, the tartan pattern is really not easy to use and to adjust. You think you have adjusted the pattern together, and every time it's not actually. I don't know really why, but there is always a little difference, and the pattern doesn't adjust completely between 2 pieces of fabric. But I'm happy nevertheless. I'm happy about the result. I like the pattern. And I'm still using my needle because the sewing machine is still not fixed. And I like it. I like taking the time to do it, even if it takes much longer and I only do it little by little. Here I did it during the day because it's quite nice to have daylight sometimes to sew, but usually I do it rather at the end of the day in the evening. I also wanted to say, each Christmas and New Year, and sometimes for my birthday, there are lovely subscribers of the channel who send me some cards, some little gifts they have created, they have done. And it is adorable of you to do that. I take advantage of this video to say that because I don't have the emails of all these persons. And what happens is I can't write and send letters and cards to all the persons who send me these little gifts. Who are subscribers of the channel and who want to express their gratitude for the way that they appreciate my videos. But I can't do that anymore because I have to keep my stamps, my cards for the people who actually buy my stationery and my cards. You know, there is a bit of economy behind everything, and unfortunately I don't want to be ungrateful and rude to all these lovely people, but I need to make priorities, and the priorities is whether to ship the cards to people who buy them. It's just the reality of when you are choosing to make money with what you do, you need to do choices. Being sometimes over generous can be a little a problem. And thank you again for your little attention and for your little gifts. If you send me one for Christmas and New Year, I appreciate it. But unfortunately, you will probably not receive a card or a letter from me, especially because it's all international shipping on top of that, which doesn't go lower. As you know, each year it's a little more. I used to send cards many years ago to my clients only. It was not to subscribers on YouTube. I did that sometimes for New Year and all that. It was when the international shipping was a little lower, much lower than now. But yes, it was not really reasonable. I received very few replies from that. It was just something I was doing, and very few people replied anyway. And I stopped doing it afterwards. So now I do it, but really to my clients or my correspondents and friends. So I don't want to be rude and unkind to you, but I just wanted to explain. Thank you very much for joining me for this little video, this little update. I'm going to continue to work a little in the shadow in the studio for now, working on all my projects that you will see unfold in the upcoming weeks. So for now, I don't share too much what I do, which doesn't mean I'm lazy and I do nothing, but just I need to focus on the projects I'm working on, and you will see that very soon. For now, I will leave you here, and don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss the nice videos coming. And you can give a thumbs up if you appreciated this little update of my little kingdom. Thank you, I will see you soon.